Welcome back. In this section, you will learn how to use Python to perform some arithmetic operation. Basically, you'll be using Python as a calculator. As you know, in mathematics, there are many arithmetic operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponentiation, and modulus. So in Python, when you want to add two or more numbers together, you will use your normal addition sign. And for subtraction, you will use this subtraction sign. And for division, you will be using this / sign. Remember, in mathematics, when you want to use division, this is not our usual sign for division. But now in Python, this will be our division sign. And for multiplication, you will use this sign as your multiplication, that is asterisk sign. You will no longer be using your normal multiplication sign in mathematics, but this asterisk sign for Python. And for exponentiation, where we have a number that is raised to power another number. So in that case, in Python, you will use double asterisk sign to do that. So this is just an example. So for example, any operation that involves addition, you use this as addition operator, which is the same thing as your normal addition symbol in mathematics. For example, if you want to add 3 plus 2 together, your result will be 5. And for subtraction, so Python still uses the same subtraction sign to perform the subtraction operation. For example, 3 minus 1, which is 2. And for multiplication, Python uses asterisk sign instead of this multiplication sign in mathematics. So for example, with Python, you can multiply 3 and 2 together by using this asterisk sign as your multiplication sign. And for division, you will use / sign to do division operation. For example, 4 divided by 2, the answer will be 2. And for exponentiation, where a number is raised to another number, for example, 2 raised to power 2. So with Python, you will do it by using double asterisk sign, e.g. 2 double asterisk 2, that is 2 raised to power 2, and the answer will be 4. So when we have some operations that involves you using brackets or parentheses, so you will use parenthesis sign, that is this parenthesis sign. For example, if you have like operation that involves this, 2 multiply then with an open bracket, 2 plus 2 and open bracket. So this is just like a board mass. And for example, it's first of all solve the operation within the bracket, that is 2 plus 1, which is 3. And when you multiply the result by 2, the answer will be 6. For modulus, so this is how we write it in mathematics, that is 3 mod 2. So what modulus does is that it gives a reminder when you divide a particular number with a given number. For example, when you divide 3 by 2, the remainder will be 1. And that is the main reason why we have 1 here. So if you are doing any modulus operation in Python, you will use this percentage sign. I would like to tell you that any operation that involve all these operators, they are called arithmetic operators in Python. So let's see how to do that in the lab session. Okay, I will first of all launch my Anaconda distribution by using Jupyter Lab. Remember how to launch Jupyter Lab by using the terminal. So I'm going to type Anaconda Prompt. Okay, so the last section I taught you how to launch Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook by using two methods. The first one is Anaconda Navigator, while the second one is through the terminal. But I will prefer we use Anaconda Prompt. Why? Because it's very fast, as I said before in the last class. So when you click Anaconda Prompt, okay, so a terminal will come out like this, and from there you can now type Jupyter Lab. Okay, so when I tap Jupyter Lab, so it will open a Jupyter Lab notebook on my browser. As you can see, it's loading now. Great. So we have this. Let's say that you don't have any notebook already, or let's say you want to launch a new notebook. Remember that you need to create maybe a folder on your desktop, where you will create a new notebook to. So for example, I already have my own folder here in which I'm going to send to you later. So I will be using all these notebooks during our lab session. So if you want to follow with me, you can just create your own folder, okay, and create a new notebook to it. I hope you remember how to do that. Should you forget, let me show you. So if you are the one doing this, you can just create a new folder here. So you can call it lab session. For example, lab session. Okay. So once the folder is created, then you can go to your Jupyter Lab and you go to the desktop, okay, and then you look for the folder that you created, which is this one, lab session, and from there you can now create a new notebook by clicking on this plus sign. So once you click on this plus sign, then you can now create a new Python 3 notebook. As you can see, in this one here, there is nothing there. So it's just a new blank Jupyter Lab notebook. So from there, you can be typing whatever I type in my own script. So I have already prepared a notebook here, which I'm going to use in this session. As you said before, that you can perform different arithmetic operations in Python. So for example, with addition, let's say I want to add two numbers together. Let's say 7 and 9 together. So I'll just say 7 plus 9. 7 plus 9. Then I can run it by pressing Shift and Enter key on my keyboard. So you know that 7 plus 9 is 16. So let me give another example. Let's say you want to add 12 and 13 together. So you can just say 12 plus 13 and you run it by pressing Shift and Enter. And the answer is 25. Let's say we still want to add more numbers together. Let's say we want to add 12 plus 33 plus 65. So you can just run it by pressing Shift and Enter, and that is how to do any operation that involve division. So for subtraction, let's say you want to subtract 9 from 12. So in that case, you say 12 minus 9, and then you run it. The answer is 3. So another example is, let's say 16 minus 64. Then you run it. The answer is negative 48 or minus 48. Sometimes an operation can involve both addition and subtraction together. So in that case, you can do it in this way. Let's say you have 15 plus 3 minus 6 plus 8 minus 7. And when you run it, the answer is 13. So let's add another example for operation that involves both addition and subtraction. So let's say I want to have 15 minus 17 plus 36. The answer is 34. Okay, so for a multiplication operation, don't forget in Python, we will use asterisk sign. For example, what is 4 times 6? The answer is 24. So what is 6 times 9? The answer is 54. You will see me that whenever I'm including an operator in an operation, I always separate it with a space. Why I'm doing that is that it will make my code to be readable. So for example, I don't put any space here. So, okay. So it will make my code to be readable so that it will look fine and nice. Okay, let me say I want to multiply 2. I want to multiply 2 and 3 together. 2 and 3 together. The answer is 6. Okay, so that is how to do any operation that involves multiplication. So if an operation involves division, in that case, we will use forward slash as our divisor sign. So for example, what is 10 divided by 5? As you know, the answer is 2. Okay, what is 16 divided by 9? The answer is 1.777, like that. So what is 6 divided by 3? The answer is 2. Okay, so that is how to do operation that involve division. Please don't forget, imagine you use division sign in mathematics, even though there is no division sign on our keyboard. Okay, so don't forget to do division sign. To use division sign, you are going to use this forward slash. This forward slash. And if you use backward slash, it's possible you get an error. As you can see, there is an error because this is not divisor sign in Python. So you can just change it to this, and then you have the answer. So for an exponentiation operation, so for example, what is 4 raised to power 2? You know, in mathematics, 4 raised to power 2 is 4 times 4, and that is 16. So to do that in Python, you will use double asterisk sign. So for example, you can just say 4 double asterisk sign and 2, and you run it. So the answer is now 16. So let's say you want to see the result of 2 raised to power 2. As you know, the answer is 4. So just be 2 raised to power 2, and you have the answer as 4. You want to try it on your own too? All right. I want to say 3 raised to power 7, right? Okay. Python can still give you the answer. 3 raised to power 7. And the answer is 2187. So 3 raised to power 7 means 3 in 7 times. So when you multiply 3 in 7 times, so the answer will be 2187. So for modulus, as I said before, modulus is the remainder when you divide a particular number with another number. For example, when you divide 9 by 2, the remainder will be 1. Alright. For example, let's see it here. And for modulus, you will use this percentage sign as modulus. 9 divided modulus 2, the answer is 1. You know, when you say 2 times 4, for example, you know, it is 8. And 9 minus 8 is 1. So that remainder is what you call modulus when we divide a number by another number. So what is the modulus of 21? 21 modulus 6. The answer is 3. Okay. What is 18 modulus 5? The answer is 3 again. That is the remainder when you divide 18 by 5. Okay, we have a function called diff mode. So what diff mode does is that it will give you the quotient and the remainder together. So for example, let's say we have diff mode, diff mode. So you write diff mode, then you open a bracket and then you put the number there. So this one is like, okay, 5 2. So for example, what is 5 modulus 2? So this one will give you the quotient, a number that goes directly, you know, 5 divided by 2. So 2 goes directly in 5 in 2 times. Alright. The remainder number that is now remaining is 1. That is why this one is resulting to this. So let's see it again. What is 5 divided by 2? The answer is 2.5. This 2 that you see here is the quotient, and that is why we have 2 here. And the remainder, okay, when you divide 5 by 2, the remainder is 1, right? This is it. 2 times 2, 4. 5 minus 4, 1. That is why we have it in this way. So the first number here is the number that goes directly when you divide 5 by 2, and that is 2. And the remainder, number that is remaining, when you divide 5 by 2, which is 1, and that is it. So let's see another example. So let me see the one we have done before. That is 18 modulus 5. Let's see 18 modulus 5. So we use the function diff mode. Don't forget diff mode. So diff mode will give us the quotient, number that goes directly, and the remainder. So 18 modulus 5. 18 modulus 5 is 3, 3. So 3 here is the quotient, while the remaining 3 here is the remainder. So we also have a floor division in Python. So by using double forward slash. Floor division is like this. You know, when you divide 15 by 2, the answer is 7.5. Okay, remember this is division operator. That's why we have 7.5. So in the floor division, what floor division will do is that it will only take this first number out. Okay, it will take this number out. It will result to 7, and it will forget any number that is remaining. So, and that is what we have here. 15 floor division 2, that is 7. So it will only take the integer part out. So let's see another example. Let's say we have 16 floor division 5. So the answer is 3. If you use only one forward slash, the answer will be 3.2. As you can see, this is 3.2. But the integer part is 3. That is why this floor division gives us 3, and it forgets any number that is remaining. So I hope you understand the difference between floor division and the normal division. The normal division will give us everything. So whether it is remaining or it goes directly, it will give us everything. While floor division will only give us the integer part. So for example, as you know, 20 divided by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5.0 because 4 can go directly in 20. All right. So let's say 20 divided by 6. As you can see here, so we have 3.333. But if you use floor division, okay, by using double forward slash, okay, we only get the answer as 3. Okay, so that is the difference between a floor division and the normal division. So if you remember in mathematics, we have what is called board mass, which is helping us, to solve operation that involve different operators, be it addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponentiation, all together. So BODMAS helps us to simplify them so that we get the right answer. And BODMAS is brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. But in Python programming, our BODMAS will now become BEDMAS. And what is BEDMAS? BEDMAS will be brackets, exponentiation, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So for example, let's say we have an operation that involves this. So let me create a new cell so that I can put my Python code here. So you remember that before when I taught you how to multiply two numbers together, this multiplication operator will be asterisk. So in that case, I will do it in this way. 3, okay, asterisk, then the bracket that is here, bracket, then I will put the stuff there, 2 plus 3. So what this one does is that because it's using the BEDMAS operation to simplify this. So as you can see, bracket will be simplified first, and that is 2 plus 3. So since 2 plus 3 is 5. So after bracket has simplified its own, do we have exponentiation? No. Do we have division? No. What we have next is multiplication. I think I made a mistake here. It should be multiplication. Okay. So what we have next is multiplication, and this is this sign here. And that is why we have this. So the answer will now be 3 times 5. And 3 times 5 is what? 15. So when you run it now, you have this as 15. So let's see another example. Okay, in example 2, you will see that we have 2 raised to the power 2 plus 1. So, and since we know how to do exponentiation in Python, so this one will now be 2 double in Python. If you remember that exponentiation sign will be a double asterisk. So therefore, we now have 2 asterisk, and then we put 2 here because we have 2 raised to the power 2. Then we now put 1 here plus 1. What are we expecting? We are expecting 5 because 2 raised to the power 2 is 4 and 4 plus 1 is 5. So when you run it by pressing shift and enter, you have 5 as your result. So we also have another example. So in this case here, we have 2 different bracket operations. So the first one is 3 plus 2, and when this one is simplified first, the another bracket here, 6 minus 4, will also be simplified, and whatever we get in the 2 brackets, we now multiply them together. So let's see how to do that. So don't forget, you also have to open your bracket here, and you just type 3 plus 2. And after that, the multiplication sign in Python is asterisk. You open another bracket again, and you can just say 6 minus 4. Alright. So as I said before, if you want to make your code readable, you can just, for every operator, you must put a space there. Alright. So if you run it now, the result is 10. So in this last example, so we want to solve this operation, and the operation is 3 plus 2 close in a bracket to multiply by another operation, then close in a bracket, and then we now add the result to 2. So let's see how this works. So we create a new cell and you open your parentheses the way it is, 3 plus 2, 3 plus 2, you close the parentheses, then you input this multiplication operator, that is star, okay, and then you open another bracket, 6 minus 4. You close the bracket and then you add the result to 2, and when you run it now, you see the result as 12. So look at this. Let me give you this one as a bonus. So let's say we have this operation, that is 2, okay, multiplied by 6 minus 8. So if I run this, okay, I will get an error. So the error is that I am supposed to put an operator here, and the operator is what? Multiplication. Yes, because by default, so in mathematics we have an imaginary or an hidden multiplication sign here, and that is why in mathematics we just ignore that, but in Python programming we have to put that multiplication sign to it. So in this case I will just put this one here and run it, and I have the answer. I hope by now you can now work with different arithmetic operations in Python. So let us revise what we are able to learn in this session. So in this section, we see how we can use Python to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, float division by using double forward slash sign, and for exponentiation, that is an operation that involves a number that is raised to another number. So in that case, we use this double asterisk sign. And for modulus, we use this percentage sign. So if you remember, modulus is the remainder when you divide a number by another number. And we were able to see different examples using Python. So all these are what we were able to examine in our laboratory section. Welcome back. In this session, you will learn how to comment your code in Python. Why do you need to comment your code in Python? Comment helps to make your code readable, and also it allows you to remember the line of code that you might have written before. So when you comment your code, it makes others to actually understand your code line by line. Comment is also good for documentation purpose. In order to add comment to your code in Python, you will make use of hashtag sign. Let's see how to do that in the lab session. Remember, we need to launch our Jupyter Lab notebook. So in this case, I will open my terminal and click on Anaconda Prompt. So from the Anaconda Prompt, there I can type Jupyter Lab. So I'm waiting for my computer to load Jupyter Lab notebook on my browser, and here it is. It's still loading. All right. So I have the lab exercises, okay, where I'm going to use to teach you how to use comment in Python. So follow me by clicking on the comment Jupyter Lab notebook. And if you want to create a new notebook to follow along with this class, kindly create a new Jupyter Lab notebook. So when you want to make a comment in Python, you are going to make use of the hashtag sign. For example, here, this is an hashtag sign. And you can easily get this by pressing Shift and 3 on your computer. You click Shift and 3 on your keyboard. Then you can now add your comment. So for example now, if you look at this one, this comment is saying that this adds 2 and 8 together, and the result will be 10. So if I run this one now, I will see the result as 10. So what Python is doing is that it only adds 2 and 8 together, while we see this one as a comment. Whenever Python see hashtag sign at the beginning of a line, Python will see it as a comment, and it will therefore ignore that comment. So this is another area where we can use comment. For example, I've not taught you how to use NumPy package. So, but in this place here, I'm letting you know that you are going to learn NumPy package later. So therefore, this is a comment just to make you understand what I'm doing. And in this NumPy package, I'm saying that I will make use of square root to get the square root of a number. So before I do that, first of all, this comment guides you to know what I'm about to do. And in that case, I need to import NumPy package. Don't worry about how to import a Python package. Later, you are going to understand it. So therefore, I just use this one and I run it. As you can see, so it's still loading and it's giving the result as 2 because the square root of 4 is 2. Now, as you can see, the result is now here. So let me create a new cell for you so that you can see how to make some comment in your own line of code. So for example, I want to tell a beginner that when you see this star, that is the asterisk sign, and that is, it means that that is a multiplication sign. So I can just say that this asterisk sign is used to multiply or is used to do multiplication in Python. Okay, then I can now start using that asterisk sign. So for example, I want to multiply 6. I want to multiply 6 and 8 together. So I run it now. As you can see, the result is 48 because 6 times 8 is 48. But this hashtag sign here is a comment which helps us to know that this asterisk sign here is used to do multiplication in Python. So wherever in Python code and you see this hashtag sign, it means that it is a comment and it tells you to understand what the code is all about. So don't forget, the hashtag sign is used to make comment in Python. It is good you comment your code so that others can understand what you are doing and the rationale behind a particular code that you have just done. So thank you. We have come to the end of this class.